Hi, welcome back to AutoReview. My name is Patrick and today I'm presenting you the 2018 or in Australia, UAE and USA the 2019 Mercedes-Benz A-Class. Before we get to the car, please hit the subscribe button, activate the bell icon so you're informed about every new video that's coming out. I'm doing videos in both German and English. And I would like to thank Elite Auto Center in Wilderswil, who are right over there, who were so kind to provide this car to me so I'll be able to show it to you. Alright, so what do we have here? We have the 2018-19 Mercedes A200 Progressive. We have different trim levels and the thing about the new A-Class is it's completely different. Yeah, the interior is the highlight of this car. The exterior is sleeker, more slim, more refined. We have a bigger boot to get to the boot, so the rear was completely redone. And as I mentioned, the assist systems as well as the interior and the whole cockpit is, I would say, the highlight of this car. Now we have here the A200. A200 has a 1.3 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine producing 163 horsepower at 5,500 RPM, maximum torque of 250 Newton meters at 1,630 RPM. We have a 0 to 100 time in 8 seconds and a top speed of 225 kilometers per hour. I was able to drive this car, which is equipped actually with the 7-speed DCT dual clutch transmission with just 3.8 liters on the highway, and that is due to the fact that you can get the DCT, and with the DCT comes the cylinder turn-off function. What it does is basically it turns off the second and the third cylinder when it's not needed between the RPM of 1,250 to 3,800. Therefore the first and fourth cylinder run more efficient and you'll be able to achieve these figures. I actually achieved even 3.7 liters, however it jumped back to 3.8 when I stopped and I had my test run done. So anything between 3.8 to 5.6 liters, which will result in a range of 700 to 1,100 kilometers approximately with this 43 liter fuel tank. It is a Euro 6 engine and it produces 130 grams of CO2 per kilometer. Now, prices for the A200 in Switzerland start at 34,000 Swiss francs for the A160 with 109 horsepower. And this particular one, which I show you here, with all the things on board that you will see throughout the video, would cost 51,400 Swiss francs, which is quite a lot for a Mercedes A-Class, which is the size of we call it the Golf class in Europe. However, you will see where the price is coming from once we sit inside. If you would like this particular car, the red one here from Elite Auto Center, the link you will find in the description below. It is at the moment available for 42,900 Swiss francs special price. Alright, so without further ado, I'll show you the first row, second row, the boot, and then we drive and I tell you what I think about it. Let's go! Alright, so welcome to this brand new Mercedes A-Class, which we have here. So you see that we have this massive 2 x 10.5 inch cockpit navigation display, which is partly touch, so the middle one is touchscreen. And the great thing about it is you can individualize it towards whatever you like. I mean, I played around with this for the last 3 days and every day the display looked different for me. But as usual, we go from left to right. So button to lock and unlock the doors, then electric mirrors which have a blind spot. However, no blind spot assistant, it is available. This one doesn't have that. It's a spherical glass, so the outside is a bit curved. Then electric windows on all 4 seats. And what I like as well, the windows actually go down all the way, which is great. How about we keep this open, we have some air. Then we have big door bins where you have extra space for even 1.5 liter bottles, which is great. On the left side we have the parking brake. It's not a foot brake anymore like an old Mercedes. It's here on the top left. Then we have automatic light, fog light, and you can dim a little bit of the interior light, which is all together with the ambient light as well, which is an option. Then we have, as I mentioned, this 2 x 10.5 inch display, and you can really individualize the whole thing. I'll show you some pictures because if I would just show this one, that would be a video worth by itself. Now, steering wheel adjustable, obviously in reach and rake, which is good, so easy to find the position. Seats are adjustable as well with lumbar support, and you see it's a one design with the headrest included. Cool thing is with the ambient light you actually have light inside here, so in the middle part in the headrest as well in the rear, which looks really amazing in the night. Then back to the steering wheel. We have this nice steering wheel, thick, with buttons on the left side, basic control all the display on the left, and everything on the right here top controls everything here, in addition to the touch pad that we have on the bottom. So we have the reverse. We can go here and change the RPM, the speedo, to navigation inside the right one, and so on and so on. Home button, then cruise control. Great thing, starts at 20 kilometers per hour. I love that. In 1 kilometer steps or in 10 kilometer steps. We have as well a speed limiter here, and obviously a cancel and resume button. On the right, again, we have the home button, then this touch sensitive field, which we have in the middle on both, to scroll through basically. Reverse button. Voice recognition is one other amazing feature which works really good. If you have seen one of the old Top Gear videos where Jeremy Clarkson was reviewing one of the Mercedes and the voice command system was horrible, this is the best thing I've seen so far, by far. Then favorite buttons, volume and phone. We have a push start engine button, start stop on and off. Car is obviously equipped with start stop. Then the vents, which are really cool, and if you have the ambient light, what it does is if you increase the temperature, it changes to red for a moment, all of the 5. If you decrease the temperature, it basically illuminates in blue, and then it goes back to the color that you have set. On the bottom, obviously, for the ventilation, as well as the window, hazard lights, shows you if you have an airbag for the passenger on and off, rear heated window, yeah, all the ventilation and sync buttons, so you can either have 2-zone, basically right different from left, or you can sync it. Then we open the cover here. We have a wireless charging for your phone. It comes with a USB-C to USB adapter because this I-Class is already future-proof. All of the ports are USB-C, so you'll need that one to charge if you have any older devices. 2 cables with spacers, which is a nice thing. Then in the center console we have this touch pad, which has the same function as the small one here on the steering wheel. Home button, basically going left and right with the radio station, and go back. So then in the center console we have actually the adjustment of how the engine with the transmission and the throttle works. Let me just turn on the engine because otherwise it won't work. Okay, so you have here the selector, which you can go from Eco to Comfort to Sport to Individual. Then we have the reverse camera, which is amazing. Let me just turn on. Here we go. and you can have either 180-degree view, or you can have a split view where it shows you here from the parking sensors. There is a 360-degree camera available, however you have to pay a premium for that. Then we go back to navigation. Navigation is great, I love it. Once we're gonna drive, you'll see it. It is augmented reality, MBUX I think it's called, which actually while you're driving it will show you when you have to turn left or right in a split screen here, a live camera that is actually inbuilt here, and it will display arrows where you have to go left or right with the name of the street and the street numbers of the buildings you're driving past, which is best thing I've seen so far. At the same time, it's a little bit distracting you from traffic because you have to look down there, so I would have preferred if it's actually right here or maybe in head-up display, which is another option available. Then radio, media, telephone, and basically a knob to put your hand on. Arm compartment, we have quite a big one with another 2 USB-C ports, and there you can put your phone, your wallet and other things. Glove box is okay, not too big, not too small. And there is no board book in here because Mercedes has another feature that I've seen already, where you can have your virtual reality kind of with the car. Once you download the app on your phone, you basically can go with the camera through here, and it has a number. If you have a question towards the air conditioning, you just put on the number and it will give you the manual, which is a great thing. Love it. Then auto dim mirror, very sleek. We have a compartment for glasses. Then SOS, if you have an emergency and you have an accident, it will basically alert the authorities, and all the light settings. Then sun blinds with mirrors and lights, and that's pretty much it. As I mentioned, the screen, there is way too much to show. You will see when we are driving a little bit, and I show you a clip that I recorded throughout the last 2 days, and this car is amazing, I have to say, especially in the night, and I'm going to show you the clip later. So that's it to the front. Let's hop in the back, show you how much space we have there, and then boot, and then we drive. All right, the A-Class from the back, you see the door opens very wide, which is good. We have big compartments in the door where we can put 0.5 liter bottles. As I mentioned in the front, even 1.5 liter bottles fit. Then the seat in front is adjusted to me. I'm 1.84 meters tall, and you can see I can sit straight up in the back, so I guess up 185 or 186 is okay. And knee space I have still enough. I've seen a video from Australia where the tester didn't really fit, not quite sure how tall he was. However, I'm 1.84 meters, so you can see I have plenty of space. And obviously if you sit like this, there's always space. Then we have nets on the back of the seats, and this is obviously like hard plastic. We have air vents, which is great, so you can basically channel the air towards where you want. On the bottom we have a little compartment and the 2 USB-C ports, which is very good. Quite a big transmission tunnel, so the person sitting in the middle shouldn't be too tall, because obviously the headrest doesn't go as high as the left and right one, and the feet you have to put left and right. Then what I mentioned as well, you can obviously put the window all the way down with the one-touch function, which is great, and you see as well the window is tinted in this level. Then we have reading light or opening light hook, handle to hold on to, which we have only on the back seats. And once we open the armrest here, which is a really nice height, it's not too low, not too high, we have 2 cup holders for the rear passenger, which obviously extend as well, which is good. And obviously you can fold down this part as well. Let me just see, here we go. In case you would like to put something through which is longer, so we have this 40-20-40, which is quite nice actually. I like this one a little bit more than the 30-70 or 50-50 split. Isofix left and right, and that's pretty much it for the rear. Now let's check the boot. Okay, coming to the boot of the car. Now, the rear side of the A-Class changed completely to the old one. We have a much wider boot opening, which you'll see in a moment. 3rd brake light here. Then we have this part, the black one, that extend the rear window a little bit. Sleeker rear lights. We have a reverse camera, which I like, that actually flips down, so which we know from the higher Mercedes-Benz models. Then on the bottom we have the chrome exhaust pipes. However, they're only fake because they are just covers, and the exhaust is actually on the bottom. Parking sensors, Mercedes logo in the middle. And once we open the boot, you'll see the main difference to the old A-Class. So we have a much bigger opening here, which makes it easier to actually put things inside and outside of the car. Loading height is very low. Boot space 370 liters to 1,210 liters. If you fold the seats down, you can fold them down in 40, 20, 40%. However, they are not completely flat. They actually incline a little bit towards the middle of the car. My Phantom 4, actually I take out, have a boot floor which we can lift up, and then below we have a compressor kit, first aid kit, and a subwoofer, and a little bit space for, well, cleaning devices or whatever. However, one thing that they didn't think about, that there's nothing to actually keep this thing open. There's some really smart system in other car where you actually go through here and hold it, and then you just have to put it down, which is missing here. What I like, however, is the emergency kit you can take out from here. You don't even have to lift it. It's actually accessible from here. Then we have hooks in the back and in the front. Hooks to put your shopping bags on the left and right, and the boot cover, and that's pretty much it. In the handles you have as well hooks where you can hang something when you basically load or unload the car, and we have a light for the reverse traffic, as well as a light that illuminates the boot floor. Alright, so that's it. Let's jump in the car and now we drive finally. So let's drive the A200. Ooh, and we have to hurry up because the train is coming. Okay. So, as I mentioned, first test, cruise control. Let's set it to 30. Oh, let's set it to 20, because 20 is the lowest one, which is really great. But we can drive 30 here, which is good. Now, how about we start with a few things that I would like to see improved, not like too much. Okay, first of all, price. Yes, it's a Mercedes. Yes, everyone knows it. But in the end, it's still kind of a small car. And if you think about it, this particular one is now 52,000, and we have not even equipped it with all the things. I guess you could go up to 60,000 or even more. And the A45 AMG is not even yet released. So now, okay, sorry, it wants to show you first the good things. So now look on this camera. You see the navigation. I have set up the navigation to go to Bern. Just as an example, it shows you the street numbers here. So you see this one is 29 and 27, and it will show me an arrow to go left now to Bern. Now we're gonna ignore this. We're gonna continue driving. It will reroute, and the camera is not on the whole time. It's only on when we get to a crossing where you can actually make a wrong turn. So now in this case again, it tells me go left. And you heard as well an acoustic and visual warning that I go too fast, so 30 it is. How about we go left here, just to see. And the camera is actually here, so once we're going to go to the next crossing, I'll actually put my finger in front, because the camera is inside the car and you can get to it. So you have to be careful if you clean the car. Now actually let me just stop just a second here. You see here, look at my finger. Where are you? Here we go. You see it? So the camera is actually on the right here. So be careful, don't touch it, and if you clean your window, be sure that you don't wipe it and make it smurry or something like this. Now, I love this feature. At the same time, it's a little bit dangerous because it actually takes your attention away and puts it down there. Maybe just in the beginning because it's a new thing. However, I would have loved, for example, now it looks so perfect. I'll have to take a picture of it actually, but later on. It would be better if it would be in the screen that is actually in the front of the driver or in the head-up display, this function, but I'm not quite sure how we can head-up display that kind of quality picture, right? Now, one thing that I liked and didn't like at the same time is you have a lot of assist systems, however, you have to pay for most of them your premium. So, I have no blind spot assistant in this one, even though this car is 52,000, right? I have no adaptive cruise control, it's an additional extra. I have no head-up display, it's an additional extra. I have no 360-degree camera, it's an additional extra. It comes with a few things already, which is good. However, again, pretty much all German manufacturers do the same. They do give you a base car, and this is another criticizing point I have. They give you the A160, which costs 34,000 Swiss francs. It comes with halogen lights, and steel wheels and wheel caps. Please, man, it's 2018. Stop steel wheels, stop halogen headlights. I'm happy that you can get it, obviously, as an additional thing, but it should not be an option, it should be a standard. The alloy wheels from an aesthetic point of view, and the LED lights from a safety point of view. But again, I mentioned this in every video. Maybe one day it will actually do something. But now we go in a tunnel, and I'm gonna show you the ambient light, and I'll try to switch in between the different settings here. Now cruise control 80, no, actually 60, okay. And now look at this ambient light. Now it's blue purple. Let's go. We don't have too much time. Come on. Now ocean blue, red moon, and if you have two colors, they actually switch in between. Fire red, dawn blue, sunny yellow, jungle green, color flash. It will just change all the time. Color mix, and this will basically switch and switch and switch and switch. It is great, but it's actually distracting as well, I have to tell you, so you have to be very careful. Now again, quickly, if I put the temperature up, you see it becomes red. If I put it down, it becomes blue. Amazing, yeah? Okay, so ambient light done. We can go back to navigation. However, if I'm too lazy to actually touch the touch display or use the buttons at the steering wheel, I just do like this. Mercedes?
Ja, bitte.
Navi-Display anzeigen. So, das geht. Then I can do as well, turn on the light in the back, turn on the reading light. Mercedes.
Ja, bitte.
Temperatur anheben.
Ich stelle die Temperatur auf 18 Grad.
So, you can do the temperature and a lot of things. And you can say, hi Mercedes. Hi Mercedes.
Ja, bitte.
See, now it's in German, that's why it doesn't recognize the English voice. So if you switch it to English, it will be able to have the English version in it. Okay, so, abbrechen. Finish. Now, one criticizing point, the last one, is actually the DCT. I love DCT transmissions because they're pretty good and they're fuel efficient. And you see I accelerate and it goes pretty well. Again, 163 horsepower, right? Let me just set this one because I want to show you one more thing. Now if I go on the right, it vibrates in the steering wheel, but it doesn't actively pull me back. And unfortunately I have no line that actually is not broken, because if you have the lines, for example, on the right side where you're not supposed to cross them, what it does actually, it brakes and it will slow down, and then it shifts down and accelerates again, and it doesn't do it like smoothly, it's like very abrupt. If you accelerate from a standstill, it's very abrupt as well, so every time it's a little bit too, like it's too eager to go forward, which okay if it's a sports car, but on a daily basis it's a little bit too much. You'd like to be more comfortable, because Mercedes usually it's a bit more comfortable than sporty. Obviously the AMGs are different. Now let's see if it's gonna work, because I have a lane here. Okay, let's see. So here we go. That's what it does. Let's try again. It needs some time in between. And the tourists. It has anti-collision warning. So if, for example, it will basically prevent a crash in case you are supposed to crash into the car in front of you. It will slow down, even without adaptive cruise control. Now, burn, whatever. Sorry. This area is very touristy, so we have a lot of tourists who are not able to drive because they come from all over the world and they're not used to tunnels and mountain roads and corners and cows and pretty much everything. Yeah. Now let's put the cruise control in. I'm allowed to overtake. Yes. that was the things that I didn't like. Now, the things I like, the things I like is the design. I love this ambient light. I love the screens. I like the possibility to individually adjust the screens how I want, not something that is given and fixed. I'm surprised by this engine. Yeah, a 1.3 liter with 163 horsepower. It's very good. It's sufficient. You don't need anything more than that. And at the same time, I'm even more surprised by how fuel efficient you can drive this car. I'm driving an Octavia RS diesel, and the lowest I was able to get was 4.0 liters with a diesel. Here I managed already 3.7 with a petrol engine, because we have the 2 cylinders that turn off. Right now again we're gonna have the arrows which tell me where to go. Now obviously here we have no construction site, so it doesn't know that yet. Yeah, but it's a new roundabout here. Let's just turn around. I love that the reverse camera is hidden. It only gets out when you need it, so it doesn't get dirty. Space is very good in this car, yeah, especially on the rear seats. I remember the old A-Class. I drove the A45 AMG Edition 1 in Dubai, where I tested it. It was not as spacious. I love the materials, so it's all soft touch here, with this kind of metal look, carbon look thing. Okay, the piano black painted center console and all this around the vents. It looks good, but you have to clean it constantly because it actually is a dust magnet. Yeah. So last but not least, a few more things. The car, if you actually allow it to, will actually analyze your patterns. And for example, if you on every Monday after work at 6 o'clock you drive and you call your wife, and one time you won't do it, the car will actually tell you, hey, do you want to call your wife or your partner or whatever. Yeah. What I like as well is the phone can be used to unlock the car. It's NFC technology. You have to unlock it as well. So basically the car is very digital, which I love. I am a tech guy. I love all these things. I love to play around with this. But considering that the previous A-Class, and my parents had actually one of the previous ones, not the sporty one, but you know, the tall one, the one that flipped in the past. If older people buy this car, I would reckon if they are coming from an analog time, they will be overwhelmed by what this car can do. And this is something I see with a lot of manufacturers, that the tech people, the 2000, born after 2000 or just before 2000, everyone who is into technology, iPad, touchscreen and also on, they will love this stuff. But if I would have a grandfather who was 80 years old and he's supposed to switch from his E190 from the 80s into this, he wouldn't be using all this stuff. He wouldn't have a smartphone to connect it even with Bluetooth. Yeah, I guess that being said, thank you very much Elite Auto Center who provided this car to me. I hope I gave you a little insight into this car. Honestly, I could make a 1-hour video out of it and it still wouldn't be enough time to show you everything. So if you have any question, please let me know. I'll try to answer them as good as I can. Otherwise, please contact Elite Auto Center in Wilderswil. The link in the description. So subscribe, like and share, comment, ask if you have questions, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.